Alrighty, we got a game with the Saint Cross. Let's get right started. Whatever. Got 3 Dora, so we definitely want to win this hand. The question is how. And, well, for the time being, going for Tanyao should be fine. I'm wondering if I could have kept the 1 for like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but, well, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. There's also the 7, 8, 9 as well, so it's not really, I'm not like sacrificing. I have to sacrifice 1 for the other. I'm definitely going to keep the double tone. That seems better than either of the Sanjoku or Itsu. Anyways, we're heading over to Tanyao though, which is the most natural way to play this hand, I would say. Considering it's the easiest way for us to call. We got 4 blocks right now, for Tanyao that is. And the question now is whether you want to keep this 8-9 instead of the tone, and I think you kind of have to. Yeah, I mean, it is true that we still accept 17. Well, what is going on over there? When we, what do we do now? Just the 19. It's true that we still accept the 17 even if we drop the 8-9, but the fact that we lose 1 block by dropping 8-9 is kind of a deal breaker, I would say. Boom. Now we just go ahead and drop what? The problem is the player over here has a bit of a difficult situation, where I don't know how close they are to Tenpai. They could be very close. I would expect them to be. Or, yeah, okay, Moko. Considering that now that they've dropped from 3 suits, it's quite likely, let's just say, that they are in Tenpai. That could deal in right now. Okay, apparently it doesn't deal in, that's fine. And now what? Well, 3 should be less dangerous than... No, that's not true. 3 man should be less dangerous than 3 peen. What's more? No, it's probably not that big. No. 3 is not dealing in either, right? Okay, I guess they could deal into, Toy, right? They could have a 1-3-3 so shape, and now they're waiting on the 3. But well, if they do, so be it. We are Tenpai now for Mangan. Here comes another Riichi over here. We're just gonna go ahead and push until someone wins. There's not really anything else that we can do at this point. There's no way we will ever discard, or we will never fold from this hand, basically. Like, even if this deals in, we don't have a problem with it. Okay, it turns out they were Toy, but they had the 1-2-2 instead of 1-3-3. Alright, well, that is fine. We are in the last place, however, going into East 2. So we're gonna need to, well, play accordingly. What is going on here? It's a decent hand. The red 5 makes it so that going for a flush is not really worth it. So we're probably just gonna go ahead and drop south first and then head over to a regular hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We need a couple more blocks, and so even though these 1s and 9s are kind of weak, well, they're kind of still important to keep around. Here, the 9 is the weakest floater because we have the 8 pins twice cut. You could also consider dropping the Jun, I guess, but I think it's more important to keep. Even though it is once cut. Now it's twice cut, so it's useless. We have 4 blocks now, so drawing something around the 1 over here will give us a 5th block. Although it's not exactly such an amazing block. Here we're just going to go ahead and replace the 1 for a floating north, which can give us a Yaku if we pair it up. Or triple it up, really. Now that we do have 5 blocks, we're just going to go ahead and drop east. If it gets home, that's fine. Player in first place calls, which is probably the person who we are most happy with call. Yeah, considering that even if they do win, well, they're either going to drop one of our rivals lower, or they're going to... Oh, what do we do here? I kind of want to get rid of the 7-9, honestly. Yeah, because Manzu look kind of thoughts against them. Here, I'll go ahead and drop the 9 right now. Also against the dealer, I guess. Oh, I mean, the dealer was kind of really expensive on the Manzu. But, okay, fine. I'm not really sure what to do over there. I have trouble with these kinds of situations. But either way, we got out of there pretty nicely. With the player just winning, the player to the left just winning. And we are still in last place, but our situation is very slightly better. And now we are in East 3. Wowie wow. Game is going fast. And we do not exactly have a good hand over here. The player to the right owns win that is not theirs. So there's a good chance that they're flushing. However, they could just own the white, which they do not. Okay. Kind of a difficult situation to get a handle of, but if the dealer is fast, then we can sort of defend against them without too much of a worry, considering our hand is not exactly very strong. But for the time being, we still have to continue building like normal. Here, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the green over here, yeah. Is that gonna get cheated? No, but it's pretty clear that the player across does have those in hand. I think that's not too crazy to say. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the 1-2, which is our weakest block. We do have 5 blocks already if we treat the 4, 6, 6, 8 as 2 blocks, but we can find a 5th block around the 7 man as well, or to replace this block over here. The question is whether you're really interested in winning a 1,000 point hand here. And, well, even if we win a 1,000 point hand, the thing is we don't actually... Oh, well, now it's not a 1,000 point hand. The thing is we don't actually get out of last place. Here we kind of have to call for Tenpai, considering we do have our conditions. If, well, it's a little bit tough, actually. I don't really want to call for Tenpai, because if we finish this closed, it's going to be... well, it's going to get us out of last, guaranteed. The problem is we don't exactly have a lot of time on our hands left, so I think we kind of just have to pull. Yeah. Even if we do win 2,000 points, it's going to be useful in all last, and if we are able to get a direct hit on the player in third, then we will get in, we will get in out of last, that is. This is bad news for us. They have overflowed Manzu, meaning that, well, there's a good chance that they're waiting on one of the 3 or the 4 that we have to discard to get into Tenpai. It is not good. If I had to guess, it's more likely that they're waiting on the 3 than the 4, but, well... Okay, they could definitely be waiting on the 7 too, that's the thing. We're not in Tenpai yet. Do we drop the 8 or the 5? I think we can drop the 5. It really pains me to do this, but I can't really just deal into someone when we're not even in Tenpai. And hopefully there's a chance for us to get Tenpai later on. It's not really happening at this point, but because there's just not enough turns. But I can't just drop the 7 willy-nilly. And when we're not even, you know, in Tenpai yet, to a player who has overflowed Manzu. Okay, so the player in third place does deal into the dealer, meaning that we get another shot to escape last. They're also quite a lot closer to us, which is nice. The question is whether you're supposed to, what you're supposed to do with this north. Honestly, I kind of want to get rid of it right now, but that's probably not a good idea. I mean, the thing is, though, value is not really that much of it is something that we need to worry about, but I think winning is probably, like, the quality of our floaters other than North is probably strong enough to justify just dropping it right now. It also makes sure that the player to the right, or makes it less likely for them to be able to use the Dora, right? It is their wind after all. So, yeah, again, it pains me to do this, but I think it's okay to just drop the Dora immediately. We'll see if that was actually correct or not, however. Again, one of the main reasons why I'm deciding to drop the Dora right now is because winning anything gets us out of last immediately, although not, it doesn't guarantee us, you know, avoiding last, so that would be one of the reasons why keeping the Dora would be useful is because even if we win 1,000 points, well, it's not guaranteed that we avoid last, right? Because they could just win a hand in all last. But I do think that it's probably better to keep these floaters. Now we do have 5 blocks, which are a couple of, well, since these are edge blocks, they're not very good, they're not very strong. But kind of just have to keep them around. I think dropping the 6 is okay. Is that really true? I could just drop the 7. Whatever, I'll just drop the 6 mana over here. The 6-9 Xiaopeng over here is pretty weak, considering there's only 2 tiles left. And it is true that we can find 2 blocks around the 6-6-7. I think it's okay to just go ahead and drop the... or keep the PNC acceptance over here instead. Right, if we drop the 7, we are unable to really take anything in the upper PNC. And now we can take, like, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which is, it's not too bad, isn't it? Here, I think we just dropped the 1, and now we have 5 blocks for Tanya. Very important, now we can start calling. We can drop the 9, 9, and the 1. There it is, there's the 5 blocks, right, the 2, 4, 6, 7. That's not vulnerable. Now we have 4 pairs, but we can't really keep them. Yeah, we're sort of forced to get Taiyao. It seems to be the most likely way for us to get Tenpai, I think, because of our ability to call. And I'm not going to pull the 9s. Is that true? I think I might have to pull the 9s at this point. It's so late into the game. Like, I refused the 3 Sochi earlier because I think we still could have gotten into Tenpai then, but this is not a good situation. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and drop the 1 for now. Is there a reason to drop the 1 when the 2 is safe? Fine, I decided to drop the 2. Yeah, it is really bad here. We're probably going to drop the 1 next, but we would really like to get Tenpai here, yeah. So that we get in... No, I can't cheat. Yeah. The reason why I can't cheat over here, even though I want to get into Tenpai, is because in order to get into Tenpai, we sort of have to push something that's not that's not good to push, basically. There's no safe route to Tenpai. Yeah. And so, as much as I would like to get into Tenpai, just not happening. Yeah. We're just gonna go ahead and play safely. If we can get into Tenpai safely, or if we can push something to get into Tenpai, yeah, okay, fine. You know what, I'm gonna do this because we are in the Yishan, and I do think the 3 is maybe safe enough to push. That might have not been a good idea, actually, because now the player in last place gets the thing. Gets Haite. Yeah, I think I played that pretty sloppily. Shoot. Well, that's okay. We don't need to worry about that anymore, because it is a new hand. New hand, new life. What do we do now? It is East 3 again. We still want to win really badly. There is a stick on the board, meaning that if we win 1,000 points, do we get out of last place? No, we do not. But it gets us close. Is there ever... No. We are not flushing this hand because it is too slow compared to just playing this normally. We can just call it Richi, basically, right? We are 2 away from Tenpai. Trying to drop the 4-6 is just not... It's not good. There might be a chance for us to get Taiyao now, with also maybe Sanjoku or whatever, right? On the 2-3-4. As well as, well, this shape over here being Liami and Kanchan, we can get Yishanten, yeah, that works as Yishanten, on the 2, the 5, and the 7. Now that we've completed this shape, it's just 2 sequences, and we're Yishanten, we're going to call Richi if we get into Tenpai. However, if we draw around the 4, we can drop the south and south to get Taiyao. Do we do that anymore? I mean, we have 2 Dora now. Tell you what. Is it 6? No. I think we just dropped the 2. Yeah. It's kind of tough to figure out, but considering that even if we get the 3, we don't get Sanjaku anymore. There's not really any reason for us to keep the 2 for acceptance. We're definitely not dropping the South, that's for sure. And the question is, well, Kanya allows you to call for Tenpai as well, but if we call for Tenpai, it's going to be 1,000 points, just not, and that's just not what we're looking for. Yeah. The other question, however, is whether you drop the 6 pin over the 2, so you get a Liankan acceptance, and I think that might have some benefit to it, but I decided to keep this over here because we can also improve this to perfect Ichanten on... Oh, this is bad. Kind of just have to drop it though. On the 6-7 pin draw, right? Whereas if we drop the 6 over here, then we would not be able to improve to perfect Ichanten. We would get a good weight by drawing the 7 pin, but we would have lost the 6 pin South acceptance. And that's why I decided to take the 4-6-6 instead. This is not good. I don't know what to do. I think the 4 might be a little bit safer, but I'm not really sure. We do have to keep Ichanten here, however, so it's between the 4 and the 7. Okay, the 7 passes too. I think the 7 might have been safer. I mean, the thing is, the 4 doesn't deal into 1-4, right? So we're only really looking at... Drop the 2 now. The 5 is definitely a little bit dangerous, and since there's only 1... There's no more 1s left, yeah, so there's not really a reason for us to keep the 2. Besides for the fact that we get Pinfu upon drawing the 5, but that's a little bit, you know... That's a little bit too minor of benefit. Okay, that passes. Fine, we'll drop the 5 now, I guess. I don't really know. It might have been a bad idea. But the 3 could deal in, and the 5 does not deal in. Okay. Fine. That's 2 Han, meaning that, what is our conditions right now? We do need to sumo basically 4 Han. Richi sumo Pinfu plus 1. Yeah, that's enough for us to get barely out of last. However, how do we do that with this hand? We can't get Pinfu with the white. What we can do is Richi sumo plus 1 with a Fuba. That is 52 as well. However, well, the main thing that we are looking at for this hand is not 7 pairs, is a 1-2-3 Sanjoku, I would say. Yeah. And also, well, if we get 2 Yakai, that would be nice, I guess. Here we're just gonna go ahead and drop the Chun, however. Considering that the 9 accepts the Oa and is just a better floater than Red Dragon in general. Alright. I need to think a bit. Is 2 worth it? I think it's less worth it than the 9. Yeah. There is a chance that we can get Pinfu. Although, I guess 2 gives us more Pinfu chances, huh? Gives us more Pinfu chances, so maybe taking that was better. I'm not sure if I want to keep the white anymore, but if we draw into it, we kind of have to just take it. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and drop the 9 because this shape is probably better, and we still do have chances for value with the 1-2-3 Sanjoku. It allows us to draw the 6 for Ichanten, although, are we even supposed to take that Ichanten? I'm not exactly sure. What we can do is potentially drop the White Dragon at that point. Because we kind of need Pinfu. Richi Sumo plus 1 is not going to be enough to get us out of this. Right now we don't even have the plus 1 right now. Like, we have to sumo and get in Uradoa or, you know, some kind of Ipasu kind of dealio. So it is really difficult to get us out of this hand. Yeah, let's just go ahead and drop the White Dragon at this point. If someone calls it, then, well, that's fine. we do need to get value, and this is one of the ways we can get value, by dropping the white and trying to force Pifu. Now we accept 5-8, which is really weak for Tenpai. I hope we do get it. I do hope we get it. There's also the 2 as well, that we can accept for Tenpai, of course. What is that? That is nothing. Yeah, the 2 is giving us no benefit. It does look like we might be able to get Taion like that, but I think it's not really a problem that we can deal with. Okay, here's... Is that... okay, that's dealing it. Fine. Looks like that is the end of the game. And, well, we tried our best. And that's not gonna get out of Sallow Blast, because we're too far away from first place. Yeah. That's alright. Well, we did get 4th place. It's what it is. So, hope you guys, well, enjoyed, and see you guys next time.